Okay, so we have our Mighty Thunder up and ready to go. The next thing that we have the option of is fitting this roll bar set that's included with it, which also comes with some operational lights that we can turn on. The lights themselves are a little bit fragile, so if you think you're going to use the car in a way that it's going to end up on its roof, we'd suggest not fitting these, but they are there, you can put them on the car, they look really, really cool, especially in sort of low light conditions. So if you're just going to be driving the car around normally, you don't think it's going to end up on its roof, go for it with the fitting of them. So let's open up this package and see what it contains. So if we open up the bag, let's just cut that open. So we can see what we have here is the roll bar set with the lights already fitted. We've got the cable that is already tied up, so it's got a little tie wrap there to keep it out of the way. Got a set of fitting instructions for the light. Multilingual instructions, so they are in French and English, so English side on the inside there. And we also have packaged here separately in the corner the screws that will need to fit them. In your tool bag from earlier you've got a little Allen key that you'll need to tighten up those screws. So let's just open this bag. These are screws and washers that are contained in there. Okay, and the final stage of this is taking the body shell off. So let's take the body shell off, and then we are prepared and ready to fit the light set to the car. Okay, so having decided to fit these lights, the first thing we're going to do is undo this little wrap here, which holds all of the wires bundled in together. So let's just undo that, pop that out of the way. Okay, so we can now unravel the wire set. So you can see this hole here in the body shell, that is where this plug passes through. So if we pop the body shell over, we can thread the plug down through the hole. Try and keep the cable so that it's running down into the middle. You can see we've already got the 4 holes here on the body shell that the roll bar is going to screw to. So we can now tip the body shell over. Okay, now the screw bag that we opened earlier, there are 4 washers included in there. There's our 4 washers, and we also have 4 screws, and we'll need the 2mm Allen key that was included in the tool bag that we had earlier. So first thing we will do is pop a washer over each of the screws. Okay, now insert the Allen key into one of the screws and pop that into the body shell. Might need a little bit of a turn to tighten that into place. Now what we'll do is line up the protruding screw with the hole in the bottom of the roll bar. And then once that is engaged, we can just turn to tighten. We'll leave that slightly loose so that we can rotate the roll bar on top of the car. What we'll go for next is the opposite one. That should hold the roll bar in place so that it's easier to put the final 2 in. So again, let's put the screw in, give it a bit of a turn so that it holds itself in place. Lift the body shell up and locate the screw against the hole in the roll bar. Just tighten that down. So that is nicely tightened, and let's just pop these other two screws in. Okay, and there we go. We have a roll bar securely attached to the body shell. Let's just pull the cable through. There we go, that is ready to go. So you've got a body shell with the light set attached and a flying lead on it. Okay, so the next stage of fitting the lights to our Mighty Thunder is to remove this receiver box lid. So let's just undo this, again using that same Allen key that we had earlier, 2mm one. So let's just lift those screws out of the way. And let's lift this lid off of the receiver box so we can take the antenna out from it. Okay, so now we have the receiver box itself. We've got the receiver in here. We've got the cables from the servo and the speed controller. We've got the antenna cable itself. What we want to add to this is the power lead for the lights. We need to make sure also that when we put everything in there we don't get anything trapped as we tighten the lid back down. So first thing we'll introduce is our lead from the light set that is in the bottom of the body shell. Now you can see here on the receiver itself you have got on both plugs the white wire to the inside, the red in the middle and the black towards the outside. On the lights there is no signal wire, that's the white wire, so we only have the positive, the red wire, and the negative, the black wire. So we're going to plug those in to channel number 3. So we have here channel 1, that is your steering, channel 2 is your throttle, so channel 3 is this next one above it. So let's plug that light set in. That's in and secure, so now let's sit the receiver back down in the bottom of the box. Now we just need to get all of the cables in there neatly. Now we have got a little groove here in the side of the box, so if we make sure that the wires are down inside that groove, we can tuck these out of the way so that they don't get trapped by the lid. There is also another groove on the opposite side of the box. That one is ideal for running the lead for the lights out from. So we can see there we have got all of those wires run through there. We'll now get the lid for the receiver box, and we want to thread the antenna wire up through this little hole in it. So we have that threaded through. So we'll now try and gather up all the wires underneath it. Put the lid down carefully to make sure that we are not trapping anything. And then using the screws that you removed earlier with your 2mm Allen key, let's just pop those back in. Tighten those into position. You can see it's still possible to lift the body shell away from the model with this plugged in. So what we can do now, just as a test, see with the body shell next to it, we'll bring the transmitter back into play. Always important, remember, turn that on first. So let's turn our transmitter on. Pop that to one side. What we can then do is take the battery wire, tuck that out the way to make it look neat. So let's plug that in. Battery's plugged in securely. Then when we turn the switch for the ESC on, you can see we have functioning lights on the roof of the body shell. So we can now tuck these cables underneath the body shell. shell onto the truck. Attach the body clips. And your Mighty Thunder is ready to run with lights.